Earth is only a tiny part of the universe. It is the only known abode of living species. We are yet to find the presence of life anywhere else within the universe. Only the Earth has all the elements required to support life. There is water to satisfy thirst, air to breathe, fertile soil to produce food, and abundance of other natural resources to sustain life. Over and above all these, we have the sun, the source of all energies and the provider of a favorable temperature that helps the growth and distribution of plants and animals. Because of this extraordinary environment, creation, evolution, and sustenance of life on this planet have been possible. Sound is a special form of wave action, which is usually transmitted through air in the form of pressure waves. Hearing apparatus of animals, including human beings, receive these waves transformed into electrical impulses in the ear. These, in turn, are carried to the brain, enabling us to hear. We acknowledge the importance of sound as a medium of communication, enjoyment, and alarm to evade danger. We take most sounds for granted, yet of course, often people respond differently to different sounds.
Can I have some peace of mind? Could you please sit quietly for some time?
Yes, sound can distract us and break our concentration. Car alarms, barking of dogs, traffic noises on the road, low-flying aircraft, the blaring of music from loudspeakers, all these are examples of noise that can distract us. When this sort of thing happens, sound has become unwanted noise. Noise can be distinguished from signals such as speech by an important parameter.
That the Iraqi leader and his two sons go into exile.
While speech contains a coherent and a regular structure, noise is random and is devoid of both these qualities. Noise is an environmental phenomenon which begins to influence us from before our births, and this influence lasts throughout our lifetime. Noise has the capacity to interfere with all our activities, such as work, rest, recreation, or sleep. Noise may not only be a nuisance, but may also affect our health in adverse ways. Noise as an environmental pollutant differs from other pollutants such as air and water. These stay in the environment for extended periods of time, whereas noise disappears fast. In acoustics, noise is defined as any unwanted sound, either one that is objectionable in itself or one that interferes with any other sound being listened to. Sound is characterized by two features, the frequency or pitch and the intensity or loudness. It is not always the pitch or the loudness of any sound that makes it very annoying. It may so happen that the repetitive nature of the sound or the fact that we are unable to control it leads to the sound being so particularly annoying. The sound pressure waves move out from the vibrating source and become weaker the further they travel. The wave may be reflected or scattered by objects, so the sound reaching the ear is often different from the sound originally generated. The vibrations produced by sound are cyclical and are measured in hertz, which gives the number of cycles per second. An adult with good hearing can hear frequencies in the range of 20 to 15,000 hertz. While children can also hear frequencies above 20,000 hertz. The intensity of sound is measured in logarithmic units known as decibels. A decibel, dB for short, is 1/10 of a larger unit known as the bell, which is named after Alexander Graham Bell. A decibel measures the loudness of sound in accordance with the response of the average human ear. The scale starts from 0 decibel, which is considered the threshold of hearing, the faintest sound which can be heard by the human ear. A sound of 10 decibel is 10 times louder than 0 decibel. A change from the level of 10 to 20 decibels actually represents a 100-fold increase in the sound level. Normal hearing depends on 3 components of the human ear: the outer, the middle, and the inner ear. The inner ear, or the cochlea, is the most susceptible to damage by loud noises. The cochlea contains thousands of tiny cells that transmit sound impulses to the auditory nerves. Although we recognize noise pollution as a major environmental problem, it is difficult to quantify the effect it has on human health. Auditory fatigue appears in the 90 decibel region and is greatest at 4,000 hertz. It may be associated with side effects such as whistling and buzzing in the ears. Deafness or hearing loss is the most serious auditory pathological effect. The victim is generally unaware of it in early stages. Temporary hearing loss is often the result of a specific noise exposure. The disability disappears within a time period of about 24 hours following the noise exposure. Most temporary hearing loss, like the one we have here, occurs in the frequency range of about 4,000 to 6,000 hertz. Explosive sounds with peak noise levels of 140 decibels or more often destroy these cells completely and cause permanent deafness. Repeated or continued exposure to sound of around 100 decibels may result in a permanent hearing loss. In this, the inner ear damage may vary from minor changes to the cell endings to a complete destruction of the organ. Exposure to noise above 160 decibels may rupture the tympanic membrane and cause permanent loss of hearing. Noise can interfere with speech communication. The frequencies causing most disturbances to speech communication lie between the ranges of 500 to 2000 hertz. For good speech intelligibility, it is considered that the speech sound level must exceed the interference level by approximately 12 decibels. At the level of 80 decibels, sound is annoying. This, however, is primarily a psychological response. We have found that neurotic people are more sensitive to noise than are balanced people.